So, please forgive me for any offenses that I make today, and yeah, I just really hope that all of you guys provide your mercy and your blessings, so that I can be able to transmit Srila Prabhupada's message nicely. Yeah, so we can go ahead and get started. So the theme for today is see Krishna as our friend. So we're going to be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, text 29. So yeah, I will read it first, and we can do like calm repeat, and then I'll just choose a few of you guys to read it afterwards. So yeah, Sarvamoham sarvabhuteshu
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Maite teshu kapyaham
Maite teshu kapyaham.
Now, would anyone like to give it a try? If you don't volunteer, I will kind of volunteer you too, so. Yeah, anyone, any takers? Nice, we can have Marisha go first.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Maite teshu chapyam
Maite teshu chapyaham.
Nice, thank you. Now, any Prabhuji, you'd like to give it a try?
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Maite teshu chapyam
Maite teshu chapyaham.
What about any of the little ones in the back? I see you're a little distracted. Do you want to try Sanaya? Okay, somebody give Sanaya the microphone.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Namedveshosti nama priyaha
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Eva janti tumam bhaktya Maite teshu chapyaham.
You think you can do it, Nishi?
Both do together.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu Namedveshosti na priyaha Eva janti tumam bhaktya Maite teshu chapyaham.
Haribo.
Haribo.
We can do, yeah, one more.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Samoham sarvabhuteshu
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Namedveshosti na priyaha
Jeva janti tumam bhaktya
Eva janti tumam bhaktya
Maite teshu kapyaham
Maite teshu chapyaham.
Nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, we can go on. So yeah, here. Sorry, I was a little confused. So, Sama, equally dispoised. Aham, I. Sarvabhuteshu, to all living entities. Na, no one. Me, to me. Veshya, hateful. Asti, is. Na.
Na.
Nor.
Nor.
Priya.
Priya.
Fear.
Fear.
Yea.
Yea.
Those who.
Those who.
Bhajanti.
Bhajanti.
Render transcendental service.
Render transcendental service.
To. But. Mom. Unto me.
Unto me.
Bhaktya.
Bhaktya.
In devotion.
In devotion.
Maya.
Maya.
Are in me.
Are in me.
Te.
Te.
Such persons.
Such persons.
Teshu.
Teshu.
In them.
In them.
Cha.
Cha.
Also.
Also.
Api.
Api.
Certainly.
Certainly.
Aham. I.
I.
Very nice. So we can go on to the translation. And yeah, let's see. Bhajagovinda, would you like to read the translation and maybe give feedback on it?
Translation, Srila Prabhupada. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So, this is Krishna speaking, and what Krishna is saying to Arjuna is that he doesn't have envy for anyone. He treats everyone the same. He's equal to everyone, but those that are devotees of him, that serve him, they have a special platform. They're considered a friend, not just anyone else.
Nice, thank you, Prabhu. So now I just have a question for everyone. I guess reflecting on the friendships that you have right now, what are some qualities of the friendships that you have? You know, how do you consider someone your friend? Parvati? Loyalty, nice. What else? What are some other qualities that you find in the types of friendships that you currently have?
They're handsome.
They're handsome? Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, intimacy, like sharing.
Intimacy and sharing, nice. What else do you find in your friendships? Is there
Trustworthiness.
trustworthiness? Nice. And then we can have one more person share something. Sanaya, what is unique? What's so unique about your friendships? Nice. Okay, so uniqueness. These two? Oh, okay. Both of you have to share now. You've been voluntold.
Confidentiality, because you tell them things that you don't tell them like.
Yeah, that can go into intimacy and sharing. Nice. And then caring. Nice. Thoughtfulness. Mataji, I heard you say something.
Oh no, I said mine.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, you find all these really great qualities within our friendships with each other, and so these are all things that we should look for in trying to develop this friendship with Krishna. You know, Krishna, he wants to be a friend. You know, he says here that he's not necessarily he's not partial to anyone, but he's a friend to anyone who shows devotion to him. And so, yeah, we're gonna just talk a bit more about how we can develop this friendship. We're gonna see what Srila Prabhupada has to say about this. So, the first person can read to here. We can have Mataji, would you like to read?
How far down?
To water, where it says land or water. I don't think that's
Okay.
it's a little bit further down. Yeah.
One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone, and no one is a special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination. It is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity in whatever form is his son, and so he provides everyone with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to share like maybe a few words on what you just read?
Well, Prabhupada's so clear in his words, it's hard for me to try and add anything to it. But it's just very clear. It's just like Prabhupada gives the comparison of a bird and a tree. You know, he's there and he's always just waiting. And if we can turn to him, then he's always right there waiting for us to reciprocate. And then he's so lovingly, he wants to. He's actually waiting for us to turn to him and offer some service. He's providing us with everything, like it says here, whether just like rain on a rock. But as far as to develop that special friendship and that special relationship, he's just waiting for all of us to go ahead and turn to him and offer just some, even the simplest little sign. Simply we say his name, and he's immediately there waiting to give us so much more back than we originally give him. So.
Yes. Very nice message. You know, that's honestly something that I wanted to like highlight in here. Like, at least like something that you can find in a lot of, I guess, quote unquote, like material relationships is oftentimes they are more transactional, more business based. Like, oh, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, or oftentimes it's like I give you something, you give me something. It lacks like a certain intimacy, and this is something that can also be developed whenever we're talking about Krishna, because keep in mind, Krishna, he has everything. He has everything, and he provides us here, even if we're not trying to be his devotee. He provides us with rain, he provides us with all of these natural necessities that we need. And it can be very easy to approach Krishna in that mood, like, oh, I just want to take from you, take, like, oh, Krishna, I have an exam coming up, please give me a passing grade. And but that's not a real friendship. Would you guys say that's a good friendship? You know, just always taking, or someone always taking from you? No. But I don't know, we can read a little bit more of what Srila Prabhupada has to say. So starting from, this is a little confusing. Where in it?
But
Okay.
first devotees.
So we can read, but for his devotees, and then go down to, I think I scrolled a little too much.
What for his devotees?
That's down one.
Down, okay.
No, up.
Yep.
There.
Subs.
Yes, okay, I see it right there, but for his devotees, okay. So could we have maybe, Max, you can read it. Yeah, and you can go to, just after, consciousness.
But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists, situated in him.
Okay.
More?
Till consciousness. So,
You have to scroll up.
Another
a
conscious.
little more.
Okay, sorry. The Lord says here distinctly, Mayete, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the words, Ye yatta mam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamiyaham. Whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of him. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotee are conscious.
Nice, thank you, Prabhu. So now just share if you're able to.
It's heavy. The Lord and the devotee are conscious. And that's why reciprocation exists. Yeah, so I'm saying because the nature of Krishna is reciprocal, our relationship with Krishna is reciprocal. If we think of him and which means that he is in us, then reciprocally, that's a word, we are in him at the same time. And I don't understand what this means, but it happens because both Krishna and his devotee are conscious. This is how it happens.
Nice. Thank you, Prabhu. So yeah, I guess keyword, everyone, I think we can all say them 3. 1, 2, 3. Reciprocate. Reciprocate. I thought you guys would have got it. It's so important.
You highlighted consciousness though.
Oh, I highlighted it because this is me keeping track of where I am so I don't get lost. But if you're listening, a recurring theme that I see going on is reciprocate. So within this relationship, this transcendental, eternal relationship that we're developing with Krishna, where it's full reciprocation, you know? And it's not necessarily, yes, what did you?
I didn't mean to interrupt that part, but
No.
it just strikes me because, yes, it's reciprocation, but the amazing thing is that Krishna also says, for every one step we take towards him,
You know,
well,
he takes,
10 steps towards us. So even though it's reciprocal, we're getting the best deal. What it as far as, you know, reciprocation, you also, I scratch your back, you scratch, no. Krishna's, he wants us to be happy. He wants us, but he doesn't force us. He's not like, you know, It's, but if we do, if somehow or another we can brush off our false ego and love him even just a tiny bit, then he just reciprocates so much. I think about that oftentimes. I think, God, you know, I don't really want to count my rounds, or I really don't want to do this or that, but I just remind myself of that. Well, if I just take that one step today, if I can just take one step, Krishna's going to take 10 steps, and I'm going to get there really fast. Of course, it's been a long time, and I'm still not there, but, you know, because I could put in more steps every day. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I have to remember the multiples, you know. If I can put in 100 today,
Yeah.
now we do get to Krishna faster. But then again, we also know it could happen like that.
Yeah.
It's not really a mathematical deal.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the point's there that whatever we do, Krishna even goes further than us. So
Yeah. So
I don't know. It just popped in my mind as soon as you said reciprocal. I'm thinking, yeah, it's reciprocal,
But we do get a lot more from Krishna with the little bit that we give, which is very nice. It's very mercy. It's so much mercy on his behalf and like on like our Guru's behalf and Srila Prabhupada's behalf, to be able to practice sincerely and be able to, you know, get that opportunity to get back closer to Krishna, even if we can't give very much. So that's very nice. Very good point, Mataji. Yeah. We could continue. And so you'll read till the end. We can have maybe Parvati, would you like to read? Yeah. You could read until the end of this paragraph.
When a diamond is set in a golden When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes a devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the personal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the supreme and the living entity. But in the personalist philosophy, there is.
Nice, thank you. Did you want to share anything?
So basically, it's saying we complement each other. Like if we serve to Krishna, it's like we're naturally complementing with going back to Godhead, being back to our natural state.
Yeah, that's very nice. Like I really like this example that Srila Prabhupada uses. Like within a golden ring, the diamond and the golden ring, they complement each other, and just as like they complement each other, whenever the living entity, it has that relationship with Krishna, they complement each other. And it's really nice. Like this is where we want to be. We want to have this personal relationship with Krishna. And we've been in this material world for like millions and millions of years, so many lifetimes. So we might have forgotten what this type of transcendental relationship is like, this spiritual relationship is like. But you have to keep in mind we're very fortunate too, because Srila Prabhupada, he has given us ISKCON. And so we can practice reestablishing that eternal relationship. Maybe not directly with Krishna yet, but we can practice first with like the people around us. I don't know, something that I was like kind of reflecting on a little bit and like reading this is like we constantly have the opportunity to get to this platform, like transforming our our relationships from more of a material aspect to a more spiritual aspect. And I guess like something that I was like kind of just noticing is sometimes like we teach things like humility, detachment, and so on. And sometimes like in the name of like humility, we might like degrade ourselves and like just say like, oh no, I'm to this, I'm to that. Or sometimes in the name of detachment, we might not necessarily, reciprocate with like our family, and because we often hear a lot about like, wives and children and this and that. And then sometimes as well, like in the name of like reputation, we might just put on a mask within our community. We might not be ourselves to the fullest. And so that's kind of something I wanted to talk about today, like just how we can like, how we can be more genuine and transform all of our relationships, our relationship with ourselves, our relationships with our family, and our relationships with our community into spiritual relationships, spiritual friendships, so that we can also develop this spiritual friendship with Krishna, reestablish this transcendental relationship with Krishna. So like, I don't know, and I guess kind of like first starting off with like talking about ourselves, oftentimes like you hear a lot like, oh hey, like I'm too fallen, I'm so fallen, I can't do this, I can't do that. But here in 6.5 Srila Prabhupada, he says something very nice. So could we have, I'm just going to do this, but I think this will be a lot easier. Give me 1 second. But could we have maybe, Neeraj Prabhu, would you like to read? So you can just start off from here.
In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence.
Nice, thank you. So I guess something that like we should be mindful of is what Srila Prabhupada says here. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to these sense objects. And in order to avoid that, we engage right here. Oh, I should have had you read this one. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. And so, if in the name of humility and you're just putting yourself down and you start seeing yourself not qualified to do certain services, then you're actually, not engaging your mind in Krishna consciousness. You're actually becoming more entangled. So, if you want to say, oh, Prabhu, I'm too fallen, then say, Prabhu, I'm too fallen, so I need to do this service. I don't know, a good way to kind of look at it is like, something that I used to struggle with a lot is like self-esteem issues, the way that I perceived myself. And I had talked to Shraddhanjali Mataji about this actually, and something that she taught me is rather than like looking at yourself and saying all these negative things like I'm this way, I'm that way, you look at yourself and you say, I am a servant or an aspiring servant of Srila Prabhupada. That should be your motivation. And naturally, as you continue in that way and continue on doing your services, that mood of humility comes in. And so don't degrade yourself. That's the first relationship that we need to really, it's really important, because you can't learn to love Krishna if you can't even love yourself as a servant of Srila Prabhupada. And then the second aspect that I was kind of thinking about is like relationships between families and stuff. And it's very hard, first developing that friendship for yourself, but then you end up with family, children. It might get even more complicated, but something Srila Prabhupada, he said that, I'm gonna have to pull my notes, guys, sorry. You're gonna see them. I can't do the duplicate screens anymore. So a verse that Srila Prabhupada said, a quote that he said, you can ignore everything else. Maintaining wife and children, even cats can do. But in this age, if a man can maintain his wife and children, he will be considered as very expert. Who wants to be very expert? No one? I mean, the alternative here, Srila Prabhupada says, is that you become more irresponsible. And the more irresponsible you become, the more godless you become. Those things are awaiting. So, I guess, who wants to be expert now? Yeah? So, we just gotta remember, we just gotta do our best, to, I don't know, we were reading yesterday in the Srimad Bhagavatam, and it was so nice. With little Krishna, he came up to Nanda Maharaj, and he was asking Nanda Maharaj, why do you guys offer these sacrifices to Govardhan? To Indra, Lord Indra, why do you guys offer all of these sacrifices to him? And why not do it to Govardhan? Because Govardhan actually provides us with everything that we need. And it was just very nice to see Nanda Maharaj's response to Krishna. It's not that he turned Krishna away immediately and you're a child, you don't have to worry about this stuff and this. But he explained to Krishna and told him their reasonings for it. And it's very nice because a lot of these relationships that we have with our wife, with our children, with our husbands, it's all stuff that we can see with devotee interactions as long as we're reading Srila Prabhupada's books, because Srila Prabhupada, he is Krishna, he's so caring that he's given us all of these examples for us to learn from. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's very nice because we see all the time if you think about it, we're reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, all of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they all also had wives. And since I already have my notes up, we'll just read from here because I put them in here. But if you read Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I was going to just read a few texts from the from I believe this was Adi Leela, when and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the devotees, I'll just read it. Then for the third year, all the devotees of Bengal wanted to return again to Jagannath Puri. All the Bengali devotees gathered around Advaita Acharya, and in great jubilation, the Acharya departed for Jagannath Puri to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Although the Lord told Nityananda Prabhu to stay in Bengal and spread ecstatic love of God, Nityananda left to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who can understand Nityananda Prabhu's ecstatic love? All the devotees of Navadvip departed, including Acharya, Vidya Nidhi, Srivas, Ramai, Vasudev, Murari, Govinda, and his two brothers, and Raghava Pandit, who took bags of assorted foods. The inhabitants of Gulini Gram carrying silken ropes, also departed. Narahari and Sri Raghunanda who were also from the village of Kanda, and many other devotees who also departed. Who can count them? Shivananda Shana, who was in charge of the party, made arrangements to clear the tax collecting centers. He took care of all the devotees and happily traveled with them. Shivananda Shana took care of all the necessities the devotees required. In particular, he made arrangements for residential quarters, and he knew the roads of Orissa. The year all the devotees traveled, that year all the devotees' wives, Thakuranis, also went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sita Devi, the mother of Achyutananda, went with Advaita Acharya. Sri Vas Pandit took his wife Malini, and the wife of Shivananda Shana also went with her husband. Chaitanya Das, the son of Shivananda Shana, also jubilantly accompanied them as they went to see the Lord. The wife of Chandrasekhara, Acharya Ratna, also went. I cannot describe the greatness of Chandrasekhara's love for the Lord. To offer Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu various types of foods, all the wives of the great devotees brought from home various dishes that pleased Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We see all of these great associates of the Lord, they all included their wives in their journeys to Jagannath Puri, which is very nice. And so, I don't know, like as we, because we're a very Grihastha-based temple, you know, we gotta all just make sure that we're, as a family, like trying to get to Krishna consciousness together, because there's service aspects, and then there's also the internal aspects, that sadhana aspect, and so we just have to work together to make sure that within our families we're able to encourage everyone and to do all things. And then the last part that I wanted to focus on is like community relationships, and I started reading this book by Devaki Devidasi, and something that she kind of highlighted in these community relationships is that in community relationships, there's oftentimes, like we were talking about earlier, what Srila Prabhupada had mentioned in the purport, reciprocation. And so with reciprocation, there is giving and there's accepting. And something that she had discussed was like giving and accepting shelter. And so, at least like within the community, I don't know, this was a nice verse that just like kind of highlights this association, this aspect of association. Would somebody want to read it really quickly before I go too far?
Yeah, the root cause of devotional service to Lord Krishna is association with advanced devotees. Even when one's dormant love of Krishna awakens, association with devotees is still most essential.
Nice, thank you, Prabhuji. And so with this verse right here, I really like how this, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. It shows that aspect of accepting and giving shelter. So here, they're saying that we need the association of advanced devotees. So oftentimes from advanced devotees, we can inquire, we can learn. And then even when one's love for Krishna awakens, that association with devotees is still most essential. So that could be more giving. Like look at Srila Prabhupada. He was a pure devotee, and he associated with all these people from all over the world and created so many devotees. And so it's very, very important. Sorry, let me just. And so, that's, yeah. So I guess I want to kind of focus on both of these, because it's not necessarily that you have to be a pure advanced devotee to give and receive shelter. You have to, it doesn't matter really where you are, it's what you're able to do. So at least like within a community, if we're giving, what I guess could be examples of giving shelter, you know? Max.
Letting someone stay in your house.
Yeah, that is giving shelter. But I guess more in a devotional sense, because that is devotional. You let devotees stay with you. But I guess, what does it mean to give shelter?
Give guidance.
Yeah. Or even something simpler, it's I like in the Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 1 or in Canto 1, chapter 2, something Srila Prabhupada he really emphasizes is that all engagements that we have, all exchanges that we have, they're on the basis of questions and answers. And oftentimes we just Srila Prabhupada, he said that we basically just made up so much stuff. We strayed so far away from Krishna that we've made up our own things to make questions and answers for. It's completely baseless. And so something that we can do is in giving, just share maybe what we've read, and ask questions or answer questions from people regarding stuff about Krishna, regarding what we've read in Srila Prabhupada's books. And so that's kind of, it's very important that we must give. And then, but if we're giving, we must also be accepting. So something that I guess accepting kind of falls into is being able to be vulnerable. And so oftentimes, like what I said earlier, is oftentimes in the sake of reputation, you might hide yourself away from the people around you. But you don't really get that close to people if you're always wearing a mask. So you should be vulnerable. So what does this mean? Does this mean, oh, Mataji, my husband, he's getting on my nerves again, or oh, no, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means to kind of share your innermost struggles or your fears or your shortcomings in your own devotional service. It's being able to be open about that type of stuff with the people around you and accept guidance on stuff like that. Because giving is very easy to come up here hey, I'm gonna give a class, or just lecture people, preach at people, but it's very hard to sometimes admit I need help, and I want to accept help from this wonderful devotee. And so there's both parts. You don't want to just have something that she referred to it as in the book is Haribo relationships, just relationships that are just Haribo Mataji, and it's just small talk, a bunch of small talk. You gotta get a little bit deeper in those relationships, because ultimately getting deeper in those relationships, and we talked about, association, even whenever you're a pure devotee, association is still essential, because that association is how we get closer to Krishna. That association is how we can train ourselves every single day to constantly and learn how to interact on a more spiritual, more eternal, more transcendental platform. So we can go ahead and finish up this verse. And then if we have time, I'd like to do a little activity. So, would Amaresh Prabhu like to read? Yeah, and we're just going to finish up this text.
An example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree. And everyone wants from the desire tree the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It's part of the spiritual world, where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate.
Nice. Yes, that's the end. And so, Prabhu, would you like to share anything? Yeah, that's everything.
Oftentimes we get in these relationships where it's an exchange, give and take, or just take, and it's, you know, if you're a giver, often the takers, they come looking. And Krishna is a giver. And the Lord has infinite mercy. There's a special mercy to devotees beyond karma. It's transcendental, and it's probably the most important relationship of your life. Is that how can I serve? How can I where can I show up as just a service, like in that period? And then whatever happens as a result of that happens. There's mercy my way. Great. Turn. Bliss.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, no, I guess it is very nice. Like, we all are just trying to work on that spiritual platform, you know, get to developing that relationship with Krishna, you know, not in a takeaway, like you said, Prabhu, where we want it to be more reciprocal, so where we can give to Krishna rather than just, and like a good example of this, I don't know, like that is good to keep in mind is like Srila Rupa Goswami in his Nectar of Instruction. He kind of talks about these types of exchanges like that we can have with devotees. But I don't know, I was kind of thinking about it and looking at it as like, we also have these types of exchanges. Like these are the types of exchanges that we ultimately want to also have with Krishna. You know, like offering gifts in charity and accepting charitable gifts. Like we accept charitable gifts from Krishna all the time. Even whenever we weren't, like even if we weren't devotees, even in previous lives, we've always accepted charitable gifts from Krishna. He gives us food, water, shelter, he gives us everything without us even asking. So what can we do in return? We can offer gifts in charity, you know, like we can offer a big thing that we can give. The biggest thing we can give is our time. You know, we come here once a week on Sundays, but you know, maybe you can try to come a little more throughout the week. Like find one other day throughout the week that you're like, hey, I have time. I usually do nothing in this hour, so I'll come here, I'll come chant, I'll take darshan. Because darshan isn't just for you, but darshan is also for the deities. The deities love to see, Nitai Granatars, they love to see the devotees here. So it's not just that, or you can come, there's always different projects and different things Mataji, Shrajan, Mataji, and Prabhu can engage you in. You can always find something to do. Like revealing one's mind in confidence and inquiring confidentially. Like, if we have questions, if we have any type of questions, Krishna always answers them. You know, he answers them through his representatives, through Srila Prabhupada. You know, we have all of these books that Srila Prabhupada has so wonderfully given us, and he gives us so much knowledge, so much, like anything that we could possibly, any question that we could possibly have, there's an answer to them in one of Srila Prabhupada's books. And even if not through there, then he'll show us through just like things that happen around us. But how do we reveal our mind? Because oftentimes we go to Krishna, we can be like, oh, Krishna, like, I just want this material thing, I want this material thing, I want this material thing. But we want to also just step away from that and start, like, saying, like, Krishna, I think you're very dear, and, like, Krishna, like, I want, like, you know, we can also reveal our minds and confidence. And then accepting prasad, and rather than offering prasad, we offer boga. I don't know, I was just reading this and I was just like making like parallels. Like, you know, we should focus on these relationships with us. Like, and it's very important that we focus on these relationships with us in the community, with the people that we're constantly surrounded by, with ourselves, with our families, and with the community that we have, because then we'll be able to then transfer these actions to our relationship with Krishna. Like, I don't know, something that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, like he was saying in regard to this verse, is that like a person who preaches like giving a lecture ultimately does nothing. Like sitting up here giving a lecture, ultimately you're not going to learn too much. It's that one-on-one time, that intimacy, that one-on-one time where you really learn and you really cultivate that that practice, where you cultivate your own sadhana, you cultivate those that loving propensity towards doing devotional service. And yeah, we want to ultimately just fall in love with Krishna. You know, whenever you, I don't know, have any of you guys fallen in love before? Yeah. Yeah, love. Yeah. You start losing track of time. You just make this person the object of your worship, and you know, I don't know. Rather than just like falling in love with Krishna, we just as a community, we can just like come together and kind of like rise in love with Krishna, you know? And yeah, I think we might have a little bit of time to do the activity because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a community bonding activity, and I saw it the other day and I thought it would be really nice if we could do it. So I had my little maid servants make a bunch of paper airplanes. So could you just pass these out, Sanaya? Someone thief. I know your name. Yeah, just give one to everyone. And then if people need more, they can get more. I have some here. And then once you get it, write your name in it. If you do not have a pencil or anything, just like ask your neighbor. You know, we're trying to become more friendly with each other. So you ask your neighbor. Here's the But yeah, while people are doing this, do any of you guys have questions or anything?
Do we write it anywhere on the plane or inside?
Inside the plane. Inside the plane.
Take general questions.
Yeah, just anything. Preferably related to like what we talked about today, but
Yeah.
okay. Or semi-related.
Not about the airplane.
Not about the airplanes yet. I'll tell you about those more.
Do we write a question too?
Huh?
So we're supposed to write a question too?
No, not write a question. I was like asking like while it's being passed around, if anybody has questions. Yeah, just write your name on the inside.
Oh, inside?
Yeah, inside of the airplane. Just write your name on the inside.
Outside.
No, inside. Did everybody get an airplane? Someone, you missed a whole row of the movies.
Communities broken.
Yeah. We can't repair from that. We can't recover. Okay. Yeah.
I have a general question.
Yeah.
So you were talking about like community building and how we should grow together as a community, but oftentimes it's hard to like start a relationship. Once it gets going, it's easy to get it going. So how do you like, I guess, quote unquote, icebreaker relationship? How do you do what's the icebreaker for building relationships?
So, at least with that, something, and this is like even if we're not necessarily, like, especially like there's somebody new to the community, or like you're preaching and like even like with our efforts at like UCF, something that my Gurudev, he's taught me is like you just be their friend, like kind of like entertain those material ideas that they have for a little bit. Like if they invite you to a birthday party, you go to that, or if you have extra prasadam, like bring them prasadam, like kind of go out of your way. So you have to step out of your comfort zone a little if you're an introvert, and kind of like try to be their friend and relate to them initially, and then as that relationship progresses, then you try to incorporate more like coming to the temple, bringing them to the temple, and engaging them in different services and so and so. So yeah, does everybody have their airplane? Okay, so everybody can like stand up. Just don't put your back towards like Prabhupada or the deities, but stand up and like make a circle. Yeah, stand up and like make a circle, but don't put your back
Like a semicircle.
like a semicircle kind of.
Semicircle, okay.
Okay.
Come stand here.
Okay. Probably, do you want to go back? You're like in this. Oh, actually, I should probably get it here. Okay. So now everyone. Okay. So now everyone, I want you to release your airplanes. Try not to go into the altar area, but release your airplanes and do not look at where it lands. Like close your eyes or turn your back. Just like throw it and close, turn away. Okay. So now I challenge all of you guys to find the one with your name on it. You cannot talk to anyone or ask anyone else. You just find the airplane with your name on it. Just pick up.
Say it in the mic so people hear you. Mine came back to me.
Yeah, just like pick up one and look at it and see if it's your name or not.
Okay, should we put it back down or keep it?
Yeah, if it's yours, then keep it. If not, then put it back down.
Oh, you're no fun.
I saw it. I picked it up. That's called observation skills.
You're not supposed to like look at it and like know where you when you're.
No, I looked at the beauties and fruit, and then when I went, I'm paid to look and find stuff in the wild.
Okay. No, you want to try to pick up one. Everybody just pick up one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? She said find yours. I found it.
How many people? Whenever you open it.
I think all of us.
How many people actually found theirs?
Yeah. We win.
Okay, never mind. You guys are very independent. You don't need a community to grow spiritually.
You can exchange. You need to close like I did.
No. No, we're gonna do that in a second problem. So I have Mauritius.
Oh.
Yeah. So, okay. So everybody found their own?
Yeah.
Okay, we did that. You didn't find your own? No? Okay. Okay. Well, okay, so then that's okay. Because now the next part, so that took us like 2-3 minutes to do. And we'll say more than half, raise your hand if you found your own airplane. Okay, so a good amount of people, you guys found your planes, that's really good. So, but we don't just want each of us individually to do, we want everyone to find an airplane with their name on it. So, we're gonna just throw the airplanes again.
Should we close our eyes?
Yeah.
Maybe turn around and throw them.
Yes, that would be good. That would be good. Turn around and throw them.
Now?
Yes. All right. Yeah. And then.
Okay, do we find it now or what do we do now?
And now everybody try to find your airplane. But this time you can talk with others and communicate.
It looks like this, but.
Yeah.
Okay. So does everybody have their own airplane with their name on it? There's a little one right here, Prabhu.
No, that is safely landed.
Oh, no?
No one is claiming that. Giving to quality.
Well, Prabhu, I guess. Guys, we can't leave Budget Govinda behind. Let's. Where's.
I see one thing.
I got it now.
You got it? Haribo! Okay, huh? Your airplane. Well, there's an airplane right here. Yeah, that was there before. Now, you have an extra one?
It's not.
Well, you have to look at it and like see if it has your name.
I didn't know you were supposed to give it back yet.
Yeah, oh yeah. We're communicating this time and giving them back. Okay.
I don't have mine.
So Max is missing one.
only you can fly your own plane.
Let's make a new aeroplane.
I think it's gone. No.
Is one underneath?
Well, this one is like it was like a trash one. I don't know. This is interesting. Probably we're not gonna leave you behind. I guess we all look for Max's airplane now. After we
Does any put that on?
You didn't fly them all right.
No, nothing over there.
Now it's a little too late.
It's like a full-size one.
A full-size one?
Portrait mode, you know.
It was 380 or something.
Check under there.
It says
Anybody found Max?
Give me a pen and write Max's name and I'll hand it to Max.
oh, see, mine looks like that.
Oh, is it that one?
It's not that one.
No, it's not that one.
Underneath the gift shop?
It's not there, it's
It's
What is
gone.
that noise?
It's TV.
Oh, yeah. ATV lost the
Oh, you didn't throw Max.
Throw it back on your head.
Oh, it's right there.
Back to Max!
You said God had it, and I looked up, and it was just right there.
So I guess from this exercise, could we have a few people share, like maybe a takeaway or something? We can start with Dr. Max.
Dr. Max.
Think outside the box, you know, like Forrest thought outside the box. Really.
We were all looking down. And Forrest was the only one who looked up.
You know?
I guess it's not really related to friendship or anything.
No, but it can be. How can you relate it to like the discussion of friendship?
It's
Well, maybe everyone's got like, their own unique way of reciprocating with others, you know, like, so, you know, one way of dealing with somebody might not be the best way of dealing with somebody else, so you gotta be creative, think outside the box, so how can I be friends with this person?
Yeah.
Can't
That-
apply the same to everybody.
Yeah. That, and then also along the lines of like giving and accepting, you can kind of think like everybody has something to give. Everybody has a unique perspective. Everybody like might read something different or might have different takeaways from like maybe something that they've learned or they've read. They all have different like teachers. There's so many Guru, there's so many people who give classes as well that you can learn different things from. So you can always talk to anyone here and learn something different because, you know, thinking outside the box. Nice, Prabhu. So anyone else? Marisha.
Well, all of our planes are a little different. They're not all uniform, and so it was easier in some cases to find the planes because we were all different. And if they were all the same, it would be a little more difficult to find everybody's airplane. So we have to celebrate people's uniqueness. We shouldn't be stuffing them into a box and say, a friend looks like this, you should be like this, otherwise you can't be my friend. So we should all be like, okay, we can see this person reciprocates more to Prashadam, so I'm going to give them some cookies.
well, if they don't reciprocate with Prashadam, that's a big problem.
Then they can't be your friend.
No, that might be one condition.
That's the line.
No, but, or like reading together. Some people like reading together, so we have to see what is unique to each person.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Radhika, Binda, you seem pretty eager to share something.
I gave up. I had just given up on finding your plane, Max. But if it wasn't for Forrest, I don't know. I had thrown in the towel already.
If it wasn't for you saying God had it, I mean, probably it's you.
So I guess what could be your takeaway from that?
Well, my takeaway is if I have the right association, I can keep going. Left to my own devices, I will quit. I'm a quitter.
Yeah. Nice, Prabhu. Nice. Anyone else like to share some takeaways?
Yeah, in terms with my,
We can't find our own plane right now without the help of others. So how we can find our ultimate destination? So we need to be in the association of devotees they can guide us to reach to our final destination.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, no, very similar. That when Dr. Max couldn't find his plane, what was the next thing that happened? All of us went together to help our friend to find where the plane is. So that's the friendship thing that you presented today. Was very nice, and this is how it's employed in this exercise of someone couldn't find a plane. What will you do? You stay alone, like Marisha said. Be on your own? No. As the saying goes, everyone has to fly their own plane. But we can all, that will happen at the end, but unless we can all help out together in the beginning while we getting to the point of learning how to fly the plane, we are here acting as a friend to look for this plane at least. Thank you.
I don't know, like it was like, I think like 2 weeks ago, the Srila Prabhupada quote for the day was that it takes gallons of blood in order to make a single devotee. You know, I don't know how many gallons you actually have in your body, but it might require a few people.
And also, after that, it takes a second to lose them. So how much chaos of Dr. Wayne that you will remember. I'm not going to lose this person.
Yeah. You have to foster that relationship.
I want to answer. In the midst of searching for a plane, we were in the middle of searching for a plane for Max, right, or his plane, and curtain closed, and we all of us stopped at the same time and we bowed down. So that shows the unity. Though we are all busy in whatever work we are busy in, but we are always there or united in that devotion. So that was cute.
Yes, Haribol. That's very important to remember. Like, we're not just here to socialize all the time and just, like, friendship between the devotees is extremely important. We have to remember the ultimate goal, who is Shri Shri Nitai Gaur Nasaraj. Nice. So,
I want to say something that this is just the game we're looking for, right? And we're just a game in paper. And we all got so excited, even mature people, we all got so excited about looking for ourselves. So think about it, that we're supposed to look for ourselves. Where are we actually? In the material world, where are we? And that's what we learned, that it's so important to look for ourselves. Where are we? And we're lost in Maya. So, I mean, just a little game makes us so excited, and think about the whole life.
Oh,
Jai. I was so amazed that you said that, because that was the first thought that came to my mind. The second thought was think from Krishna's perspective, right? Like, we are like these spirit souls, and he is looking for us, like, showing his love, and the least we can do is reciprocate that, right? So that was the second thought. Thank you, Maharaji.
And I saw one shloka you talk about
yeah.
That's talked about Sangha, associations are important also.
Yeah.
And when that was same thing happened, someone was missing, you all came together to help. What is your turn? I said already. I said something. How was this game? Good or boring?
Yeah, really appreciate for this game. So
Yes. Were you here during the whole? Yeah. I guess, do you want to share maybe something that you took away from it? Like, how do you think this game, I guess, related to maybe something that we talked about today, or maybe something you took away? This is a judgment-free zone, Mataji, so you can share anything. That's okay.
So the first thing I noticed that when we start playing the game, everyone was so excited to play the game, and then after we finished the game, like everybody's output was really good, that we can learn from whatever they are saying. So I learned a lot from this game.
Yeah. How do you go? Just share something today. Like, what did you take away? What do you think?
Yeah, I want to ask you, like, you mentioned that this is a game for community, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you have a moral and end of the story, right? So I wanted to know, like, I was throwing the thing and somebody else got my thing, and then, So what was I'm asking you a question, we are not understanding what to say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you didn't get your plane back. Somebody gave it to you?
Yeah, I want to know the moral behind what happened in the play, in the game. Like somebody else got my thing, and second time also somebody else got.
Yeah, but did they give it to you?
Yeah.
And I guess that's more or less the theme of today.
So what you said in the beginning is you give and take. That's the community, right? Something like that?
Well, this isn't so much focusing on giving and taking, but just showing how important it is to be able to receive from someone. Like, 434 in Bhagavad Gita, where like like we have to go to somebody who actually has bhakti, who's seen Krishna, who knows this, and if we want to get it ourselves. And so that's kind of like more or less along the same lines. Like we have to go to people. It's not that we can get bhakti on our own. It's not that we can reestablish our friendship with Krishna alone. We have to do it together.
Yeah, nice. Actually, when we have a thing like this, or like we have drama or something in the temple, that is more imprinting to the mind than, just like
can I make an announcement? We're not playing the game anymore, guys. You can stop throwing the planes right now. Okay.
Yeah, so I was just saying that when we do some kind of a drama, which Srila Prabhupada encouraged, or we do something which is tactile, like, like we are just standing up, and then you give the moral behind it, so that's so good. Because then you always remember in so-and-so day, in the month of May, hot month, we went and Mataji did this activity, this was behind the play, and we'll register more than by just, going through the regular class. So it's a nice activity. Thank you so much.
Just to explain nicely also, the point was...
You can also sit down if you want to. That's also okay, guys.
Yeah, the point also of the moral of the game was, what? When you couldn't find your plane, what happened? What do? You look for it also. So the whole point is about looking, not saying now, like someone will give a plane to me. So this now, the plane is bhakti. The bhakti won't come on you. So you have to look for bhakti. So what do? You ask with a humble mood or humble mindset. Can you have some bhakti? Or can I have a plane? Did you see a plane? Like this is the attitude to ask, right? Something that belongs to you. The same way we have to receive. Not that, I know bhakti. Why not Krishna?
Inquire submissively.
There you go.
That's what we need to do. Be humble. Nice. Does anyone else want to share anything? We have like 7 minutes left until our tea, so.
Who knows the song that has the phrase in it, and then we can be with Krishna and play eternally.
The bhajan? I'm not too sure. Are you familiar with that one, Rupa?
It's not a bhajan, it's a song in English.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an English song.
Yeah, it's just a children's song.
Oh, Marsha, you're like an expert at those.
Oh, this one,
It's been a
We
long
can
time.
be with Krishna and play eternally. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Like that.
I heard that one.
So what I was going to say is, playing with paper airplanes is fun. It's fun. We find it fun because Krishna enjoys playing. And Krishna and the coward boys would play leapfrog, they'd steal each other's lunches, they would play tag. And Krishna invites us to come home with him and play. And that's what we should aspire to. Gotcha.
That is something to really think about. Like, we're all so fortunate that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's introduced us to something much deeper than just knowing Krishna and the mood of awe and reverence. He's taught us these various relationships with Krishna and of fraternal love, and conjugal love and parental love, and all these different types of ways that we can have these very nice intimate relationships with Krishna. And if we don't necessarily want it, I don't know, at least me, I know I'm very fallen right now. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm oh, I really want that, I really want that. But Srila Prabhupada is so kindly given us all of these, he's written very nicely in all of these books, just all of these different intimate exchanges, and he's also given us purports, and so we can't come to the certain realizations on our own. He's given us purports so we can learn, and so we can all foster those playful relationships with Krishna. I really, that is a very, very nice point for her. Yeah, Sunil Prabhu.
So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentioned one specific line: the living entities in a pure state are called devotees. So, I would like to know what is that pure state?
That pure state
Or a living entity?
for a living entity. The only thing I can think of is Srila Prabhupada. I don't know that pure state myself, Prabhuji, but I know Srila Prabhupada. He is the living example of that pure state, Prabhu. So you just follow his instructions, follow his footsteps, and we'll get to experience that. I know, but you can talk to Dwar Prabhu or something. They might be able to give you a better answer.
That's very important to read Leelamrit, which has got a whole biography of Srila Prabhupada. And in this life, before we, anything happens to us, we should go through those, Leelamrit study. And it's amazing what all is there in it. So reading about his pure state, we can feel pure, little bit pure. I would say. We're not there yet.
Because if you look at all these different personalities as well, like they all have, like the pure state is kind of imbibed differently. Like we were talking about, whose appearance day was it very recently? Him and Nityananda Prabhu were friends growing up. Huh?
Gadadhar Pandit.
Yeah, Gadadhar Pandit, yeah. And you can see they're both pure devotees, but it's exhibited very differently, You see it's very, very different, so nice. Look through Srila Prabhupada. Reading Leelamrit, a very good place to see what a pure devotee is. And just read all of Srila Prabhupada's books, Srimad Bhagavatam, you get so many pure devotees, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything.
Yeah, and also, pure state in simple English can also be said as like one focused or how is it called? One pointed focus. And Prabhupada is telling us to train us up to the point of being Krishna conscious, look at his needs, right? Krishna is not like, recently I heard, someone shared this with me, why we don't take Krishna as the father, God is known as the father. Was it you?
No, it wasn't me, but I remember hearing this.
Right.
I remember hearing it, Prabhu.
So Prabhupada presented God as a child or son. So we attend to the son's need or the kid's needs, right? Otherwise the father attends to other needs. But we are not waiting here, oh Father in heaven, please give me this. Maybe that one, but here is the spiritual world, it doesn't happen. But you need Krishna, this. So we become focused to the point we become one-pointed. And quickly I wanted to mention Shrikanta Prabhu just mentioned about, he felt emotional to say this because that's what his focus is, being a Prabhupada disciple, of learning and telling us what Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada taught us to go back to Godhead. And then he just wants to emphasize at that point, that's one point of what Prabhupada taught us. That's what we're going to work on. So that is a good example of Sri Prabhu. Pure intent. What is pure state? It's simply one-pointed, straightforward. Just like Prabhupada disciples, we have great opportunity to see two of them. I think Prabhuji went outside also. Bishop Mata Prabhu. How that Prabhupada taught us and was being focused on his teachings and trying to get that teachings inside our lifestyle so we can really attain that result. Otherwise, it's only a Sunday thing, right? And then we go home and forget everything. No. That's why Prabhupada disciples teach us this very seriously. That's why we always appreciate and admire them. Oh, yes.
Oh, that's, yes, it sounded familiar.
Yes. I felt something said here. This is what Prabhupada has given us, all these words, people say everything with examples, it makes it so easy to call this, 6:30 at the time, but Radhika Rupa, this is an amazing talk. Thank you very much. Can you give a round of applause to her?
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.